There is a smell the step does not apologize for. Copper, loam, something sweet underneath, too sweet, the way a wound is sweet when it has been left too long. The women of the steppe knew this smell. They had a name for the thing that carried it. They called it the Albasty, the red one who presses. She comes when a woman is opened, when the body is splayed by the work of birth and the threshold between inside and outside collapses. She is already there. She was already inside the room. She takes the lever first. She runs for water. She must wash what she has taken before she consumes it. That is the rule. That is the only window you have to get her back. Before we go into the step, before I show you what the Albasty looks like when she turns around, I need to tell you that I have hidden one lie in this story. It is a specific lie. It concerns smell, it concerns time, and it sounds on first hearing like the most believable detail in everything I'm about to tell you. Find it. Tell me in the comments. I will meet you on the other side of this rabbit hole. The preparation begins 40 days before you expect to need it. Not because you know she's coming, because by the time you know she is coming, it's already too late for preparation. You wind the rope of good wool around the head of the bed. Both ends are driven into the ground, not tied. Driven so that the earth itself holds the knot. You place iron under the pillow, a knife if you have one, scissors if you do not, a needle is enough. Iron cuts what she is. Iron is the one material she cannot argue with. Outside the door, you post the men. Not because men are braver, because the Albasty moves toward water when she flees, and the nearest river must be watched. They carry swords. They will stir the surface when they get there, breaking it so she cannot cross. She needs still water to wash what she has taken. Disturb the stillness you buy minutes. And you call the Kuchu, not a shaman, not a general practitioner of the spiritual. The Kuchu is a specialist, a puerperal specialist. There is a word in Kazakh and Kyrgyz for a person whose entire professional training is oriented toward one thing, the Albasty. And the woman she hunts, you call them the way you call a surgeon. You call them because you do not have another option. I'm going to tell you what I saw in the way the steppe remembers it. The smell comes first, not the fire, not the wall, something older than both, with loam and decay, and underneath it, copper, sharp as bitten coin, the kind of smell that activates something in the back of the throat that's not quite nausea and not quite recognition, but something between them. Then the sound, a shuffling, not footsteps. The Albasty does not walk the way a human being walks. She presses forward. That's the word, always that word, basmak, to press, as if she is not moving through space but compressing it. The air shrinks before her. The fire does not gutter. It simply becomes smaller, smaller, and still. Then the sight. She moves like something poured, not something walking. The hair is wheat, not damp. Wheat, river wheat, wheat, trailing behind her across the floor in ropes. The skin is yellow in some traditions. In others, grey, the grey of old fat underneath cold light. In every tradition, her breasts are pendulous, grotesquely, architecturally wrong, thrown back over her shoulders like a yoke, swinging with the press of her movement. And the hands. The nails are copper long, not sharp, not claws long, the way a nail grows on a thing that does not need them trimmed, the color of old blood and color of the smell she carries with her. She does not look at you. She is already at the bed. The surest proof she was there is a smell. It does not live with her. The copper and the loam and the sweetness, it lingers for exactly 7 years after an encounter. 7 years. The old woman of the steppe could walk into a room and name who had been visited and when by the smell alone. The mother convulses, not a seizure, a collapse from within, as if something structural has given way. Her color changes faster than you expect. The fire is still small. The kuchu is not here yet. And now you run for the river. Three pillars, three things we can verify. Pillar 1, the biological reality. Puerperal sepsis, genital tract infection, onset membrane rupture to 42 days postpartum. Primary agent, Streptococcus pyogenes, group A, Streptococcus. Mechanism, toxin production, rapid necrotizing spread through soft tissue. Progression, localized uterine infection to systemic septic shock. Timeline, untreated. Hours to days. It was, for most of recorded history, the single most common cause of maternal mortality across Eurasia. In 18th and 19th century, England and Wales alone, an estimated 250,000 women died of it. In Central Asia, with no obstetric infrastructure, no sterile instruments, and births conducted in filth tents on earthen floors, the proportion was almost certainly higher. The 40-day window the Albasty tradition assigns as the period of maximum danger corresponds with near clinical precision to the World Health Organization's current definition of puerperal sepsis risk, which it places between membrane rupture and the 42nd day following delivery. The steppe women did not have the WHO definition. They had the Albasty. The window was the same. Pillar 2. The construction of the demon. The Albasty was not always a demon. In her earliest recoverable form, she was a birth guardian deity, a protective figure associated with god totems and solar symbolism placed at the threshold of delivery to ensure survival. The transformation into a predator correlates in the historical record with the arrival of Islam across Central Asia between the 7th and the 10th centuries CE. The systematic reframing of pre-Islamic female spiritual authority as a demonic trait is documented across the region. The Albasty did not arrive as a monster. She was reclassified as one. What remained unchanged was the function. She still appeared at births. She still took organs. She still killed mothers. The iconography inverted. The medical reality is described did not move. Pillar 3. The etymology. Albasty, Turkish compound noun. Al-Rid, also in Persian Al, an independent childbirth demon. Basti, from basmak, to press, to trample down. Translation, the red one who presses. The name describes the symptom. Septic shock causes eternal pressure. Abdominal pain, the Hippocratic corpus, already associated with women in childbed. 2000 years before anyone named the bacterium responsible. She presses, the name is a clinical note. Some Iranian linguists have proposed that the variant form Almasti traces to Lamashtu, the Akkadian demoness who attacked pregnant women, caused miscarriages, and kidnapped nursing infants, repelled by Pazazu amulets, documented on clay tablets in Mesopotamia. If the lineage holds, the Albasty is not a Central Asian creation. She is a Mesopotamian creature that walked the full length of the Silk Road and arrived in the Uzbek valleys carrying 4,000 years of obstetric terror in her name. The scholars have not resolved it. The ambiguity is itself the point, because it means that women across an area stretching from Babylon to the Kazakh steppe, women separated by millennia and thousands of kilometers, independently arrived at the same demon, same organs, same smell, same river, same window after birth, different names for the same killer. The Kuchu are not practicing today. The Albasty is not in the official diagnostic manuals of the Republic of Uzbekistan, but puerperal sepsis still counts for 11.6% of maternal deaths across Asia. The bacteria do not require belief. The demon retired. The infection did not. Don't go into the steppe alone. Here is the lie. The smell does not linger for 7 years. 7 years folklore arithmetic, a number chosen for weight, for pattern, for the satisfying certainty of a superstition that can be tested. 7 is a number that makes the story feel like a role. The truth is that smell does not belong to the Albasty at all. The smell is the infection, the copper and the sweetness of the root, that is the uterus. That's what a body smells like when the bacteria that belongs outside have crossed to the inside. The old woman of the steppe who could name who had been visited, they were not detecting a supernatural, they were detecting sepsis. They had simply built a different language around what they were smelling. A language with a demon in it, because they had no other word. The smell does not linger for 7 years. In untreated septic infection, it lasts as long as the infection lasts, which without intervention is days, not years, days. The smell and the woman and the infection end at the same time. But the truth is worse. Because the Albasty run for the river, and you run after her, and you station men at the water with swords to stare the surface. And she was never at the river. She was still inside the room. She was in the blood. She was in the tissue of the uterine wall. She was in the lymph channels moving toward the bloodstream, toward the organs, toward the systemic collapse. That is the steppe called the organ being consumed. The Kuchu could not intercept her at the water. No one could intercept her at the water. The water was never the point. Every woman who died while the men stood at the river, she did not die because the Kuchu was lit. She died because the demon had already been inside her for days. And no one knew to look inside. Some legends are not stories. They are the sound a culture makes when it has no word for sepsis.